my first question for you is, so how has, like, the pandemic, been treating you as far as, like, your career? What have you been using your time to do? Like, what has been, like, a day in the life for you, like, during the pandemic?
Well, definitely, we all know the whole entire world was affected by this thing last year. And
Right.
for me as an actor, it did slow up the work just a little bit. But at the same time, I just feel, and this might sound crazy, but I just feel this pandemic was probably the best time for all of us to just sit still, really get in tune with self. If we had families, really, get closer and draw closer to our families, and really just be able to understand that, this everything happens for a reason. And I think God wanted us, like I said, to just sit still and understand what was going on and deal with it at the same time.
Right.
And I just, for me, I just had the mindset of saying, okay, a couple of things got canceled in television and film, but that doesn't mean that this will be the end. And literally, when I changed my mindset and I changed my thought pattern and I started thinking of a more positive outlook on what was going on with this whole pandemic, then boom, next thing you know, these projects just started coming. Saints and Sinners season 5, of course, along with the safety guidelines of taking the COVID test, like 3 times a week, just to make sure that the cast and crew were safe on set. So it's almost like we needed something like this to happen in order for something greater and more positive to become the outcome of what we have going on now.
Right. I totally agree with you. So I'm going to get started. I wanted to actually ask you about Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV. So it was the #1 most watched program on television. It was definitely great. I actually just started watching it. Very, very good show. And it's so different from, like, what I'm used to watching as far as, like, when I think of a soap opera, I usually think of, like something that's, like, sad, like, sad be a love story. But, like, Saints and Sinners is just way different. It's just so much stuff going on at once, and it gets you really sucked into it just like off of one episode. So my question for you is, not only is that Bounce TV's like first drama on the network, it's also your first appearance in a soap opera setting. So how has the experience been different playing a role in a soap opera series compared to like what we've seen of you on The Wire and Meek Mill's Streets movie?
Well, for me, just being an actor and just being in this business, for over 20 years now, I'm just honored to be a part of, I call it the Saints and Sinners franchise. Bounce TV and Swirl Films have looked out for me from day one when they introduced me, as the son, as this character Kendrick, playing the son of Rex Fisher, which is played by Clifton Powell, and also Lady Ella, which is played by Vanessa Bell Calloway. Those two play my parents. But the difference for me in this type of setting is, of course, they know that I come from, like you said, The Wire, the Streets with Meek Mill, and that's more of a street type of role. But I think for me, Bounce TV and all of the writers, Nigel Campbell, Courtney Miller, the director, they have allowed me to, bring a whole different element as far as acting with this ensemble cast with a whole bunch of different legends that everybody knows. It's definitely a different character because Kendrick is more of a broken character. It's just trying to, he wants the love of his family. He wants to establish a great relationship with his parents, his grandmother who hates him, on the show.
Right.
And he, I think so many people can identify with Kendrick because at some point in all of our lives, things might be going so well, and then next thing you know, it could take a turn for the worse. So I think that's been the whole arc of who Kendrick Murphy is. But this season, in season 5, you'll definitely be able to see, a total change, because now if everybody watched the movie, which premiered before the actual season 5 is getting ready to premiere, you've seen, Kendrick he has a baby on the way now. He's getting more serious about, having a legitimate job. I just think the way that they leveled my character up and helped me to grow as an actor, I think it's just going to be amazing. So that's kind of like been the difference of just, not being so street as people are used to seeing me in some of these other projects, but actually seeing, the loving, caring father, the man that's excited to be a father, the man that wants to marry, the mother of his child, regardless of whatever the circumstances may be that may get revealed in season 5. So just that arc of just growth in acting and also in character.
Right, and that's something that I'm also looking forward to too. I really just see a redemption period for Kendrick coming along the way for season 5. At least that's what I hope for him. But do you think there'll be obviously, in Saints and Sinners style, there's always going to be some sort of drama behind it. But what struggles and revelations will we be able to expect him to face throughout season 5 with him, trying to change his life?
Well, it's a lot of different twists and turns that comes along with that. Because like I said, as everybody's used to seeing, even from season 1 when he was introduced, being in jail and then getting out, being buried alive, being shot. This season, it's going to be a lot that gets revealed because the movie, The Saints and Sinners Judgment Day, already pretty much touched on Kendrick does not know that the baby isn't his yet. So his girlfriend, Patrice Fisher, who plays Stacia Cunningham, and I love working with her so much on side by side. She plays my love interest on the show who's actually supposed to be having my baby. So with that storyline alone, you're going to see a whole lot of different twists and turns come out. And like I said, for Kendrick's character, it always seems like everything is going good, and then boom, it just takes a turn for the worse. So, but at the same time, I know that this season, definitely for my character and for everybody else's character, you're going to see, you're going to see compassion, you're going to see anger, you're going to see forgiveness, you're going to see every element of emotions that you could possibly think of throughout the show. And 5th season, and I'm not just saying this because I've been on the show since day 1, but 5th season of Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV is going to be the best season. Like the stuff that they have all of us doing as an ensemble cast, it's going to blow your mind. I mean, me reading the script, me actually being on set, getting a chance to play, with my other friends, actors and actresses that's been in this business for so long. I really had a great time. And they always say, it doesn't seem, when you're having such a great time, it doesn't seem like work. And now I understand. I definitely understand what that means. I had so much fun. I'm still having fun, even, talking to individuals like yourself about the excitement of what you all are to expect.
Thank you. I'm totally just looking forward to just seeing how everything plays out because, season 4 was already a loaded season, just a whole lot going on with Malik being killed, just stuff of that nature. It's just been so much, and just to see it all, it's going to come to blows season 5. I already feel it, definitely. So I actually wanted to touch, I want to touch on, a topic that, you spoke about in a previous interview with the Breakfast Club. It was in regards to your relationship with God and your religion. And considering that the show is surrounded around the members of the Greater Hope Baptist Church, how do you think religion played a part in the cast dynamic in the upcoming season?
Well, one thing, when it comes to religion and the question that you asked about how it plays a part with the storylines and the certain cast members and just the different scenarios that you're going to see is regardless of what religion somebody is, right? That
Right.
nobody's perfect, and so many people, when you think about it in today's society, like I said, no problem against, Catholics, Buddhism, Muslims, Jehovah's Witnesses, no problem with any religion, but at the same time, again, nobody's perfect, and people have imperfections, and they have to understand that you have a relationship with God only. You don't have to answer to no man, no woman. Whatever you got going on, your relationship is with God. And I think that's what, this show, and just in general, period, in life, that's how this show identifies and ties in, and so many people can connect with it. It's because, you only got one person to answer to, and that's God. So regardless of what you got going on, also another point is whatever that you're doing in the dark will get revealed. You know what I'm saying? So
A word.
I really think, I really think that's how the religion aspect of what's going on in the show and what's going on in life in general just plays a part. My thing now is I've always been somebody who said, regardless of how I grew up, okay, like, as a kid, your parents might be in a certain religion, and if you grow up that way, that's how you grow up. But once you start to understand the relationship that you have with God, and you continue to say, you know what, I'm going to live my life and push to the best person that I can be. I'm going to have a great heart, and I'm going to, do God-like things. I'm going to, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to watch it manifest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things that they just tie in when it comes to religion, but at the same time, somebody like me, I always tap into the God within. And when I say that, I mean certain scenarios I feel like I can create on my own. Like being perfect. When somebody says, okay, you're perfect or you're not perfect, perfection is all about experience. I can tell you right now, if I drink a whole bunch of bottles of alcohol, I'm going to be sick, or I might end up in the hospital. That's a form of perfection. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving an experience saying this is what happened to you. And all of us in today's society, we know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel as far as, religion is concerned. I really feel people need to start just relying on God more in that, man or woman.
And I totally agree with you. And it's something that you touched on as well, as far as perfection and like how that plays a role in, how we carry ourselves. And that's also like a major theme that I started to notice when I was watching Saints and Sinners, is that every cast member is trying to build a legacy. And the issue that stands in the way is what they'll do in order to get there. So how do you think that Saints and Sinners kind of reflect the reality of the Black community, or the things that we go through in the Black community as far as our family dynamic?
Well, for as far as the family dynamic is concerned, especially as African Americans, Black people, we still got a lot of hidden secrets when it comes to family, and I think now with a show like Saints and Sinners, kind of like being more out in the open, saying, yo, I'm laying everything on the table. This is what's going on. All the secrets are starting to come out because we've tried to hide them for so long. That's how it plays it's a real strong dynamic, and it plays a real part in just the whole family oriented arrangement. I definitely feel one point that you touched on is the show is filled with twists and turns, and it looks like everybody's out for self a lot, and they'll do anything to get ahead. But at the same time, like I said, this season, You're going to see some compassion. You're going to see some forgiveness. You're still gonna get the drama. You're still gonna get the drama. You're still gonna get these juicy storylines that's gonna blow people's mind. And the production value of it and getting our points across, on screen, it's really going to show, that this show is definitely one to be reckoned with. Every topic that you could think of, from corruption to murder to crime, and then back to the church, pastors, you're going to get every aspect of it.
Definitely. And I feel that's what makes Saints and Sinners so different from, other shows that are airing on TV right now. It holds you in, and it's more or less, it shows like a reality, and it makes you think bigger than what's on the screen. So my next question for you actually is, what has been your favorite moment in filming season 5, or what's one of your favorite moments that we'll get to see as we watch the show?
Well, definitely the relationship between Kendrick and Stacia. I can't wait for people to see that part of me as an actor and just as the character who everyone may feel a certain way about, but at the same time, like I told Nigel Campbell, who's the showrunner and the writer, I told Courtney Miller, who's the director and also a writer on here, I feel like they wrote pieces of my real life when it came to, me being a father and, me wanting to be a husband and different things like that. Because in all reality, I've been married going on 17 years. I got 2
Congratulations.
kids. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I got 2 amazing kids and we got a granddaughter. So I think what happened was off screen, all of us cast members, crew members, the writers, we're friends in real life. So they know, who we are individually. And I think it gave them more of a stronger push to write, in the sense of, okay, let me put a little bit of Trey inside of Kendrick. Let me see if Kendrick can be the father, who Trey Chaney is, or if, he's to be married to the mother of his child. So I think I always tell Nigel that. I said, man, y'all wrote a little bit of me in here, this season, and it made me really pull it off. I was able to really dig deep and pull it off, and that's going to be the change. That's going to be almost the upgrade in what y'all see as far as Kendrick Murphy's character.
So since there's a parallel, similar, between you and Kendrick, what advice would you give Kendrick, now that, considering that, you've seen, everything that's going to happen in the show, what advice would you give him if he was standing right in front of you?
The advice that I would give Kendrick is to never give up, because despite the circumstances that his past, every time his past come up, a lot of times, Kendrick, and I'm speaking for the character that I play, never let your past dictate your future, because of course he's been through a lot. Like I said, from being locked up to being, buried alive by his own grandmother, being stabbed, being shot, and now this whole spiel that everybody's going to see with, him thinking this is his child, but never, let your current situation, whatever you're going through, dictate your future, because it's the yin and yang type of sign. Whenever it is a lot of light, you got to prepare for the darkness, and
right.
It's how you deal, and it's how you deal with it. If you can deal with, going through struggles and trials and tribulations, just know that God is not going to put, so much on your plate that you can't handle. You can
Amen
get
to
through
that.
it. You can get over it. So that's the advice that I would give Kendrick.
Amen to that. So I actually have one more question for you. So so aside from acting, we know you do music as well. You actually released a song called Money in My Walk last June. So I actually wanted to know a little more about your music and whether or not we could expect a full project from you or not.
Yeah, well, right now, me and my producer, CR the Show, we just dropped a new EP, and it's called 3X Trilogy. And it's just me having fun. You know, I love, and before, of course, COVID, I love going to the club. I love hearing what's new. I love hearing people dance, and I just wanted to create a fun, balanced type of EP. You know, my lead single, One of a Kind, is out right now. It's doing very well. And, right now, 3X Trilogy is out, and I'm currently in the studio working on a new project. It's untitled right now, but just, even being able to live still during this pandemic and all of the challenges and all of the crazy curveballs that were thrown our way that we were able to overcome and jump over. I think this project is giving me the ability to write even more from my heart and write what I feel and write what's going on in the world. Like today, of course, we lost our brother DMX. DMX, I was real cool and close to X. X was somebody who looked out for me. I opened for DMX in 2016 in my hometown, Washington, D.C. And I remember DMX fighting for me to open on that show. So I'll never forget that. I'll never forget how he always supported my career as an actor. I mean, so, just things, just writing about how I really feel. Because a lot of people, they identify with truth. They want to know the truth about what you have going on. And I feel like that's what I'm representing when it comes to music.
Right, and I definitely cannot wait to hear the project. Hopefully, I'm hoping that, we'll hear some of it in Saints and Sinners, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know if I'm reaching too high, but I definitely do want to hear, some of that in Saints and Sinners. And I'm just generally excited to hear more about your projects as well. Thank you. So I also want to thank you so much for even speaking with me, taking the time out to talk about Saints and Sinners. I'm very much excited. I think everybody.
Oh no, I'm a huge fan of ONSITE. I really love y'all.
Yes,
y'all got
thank
a lot
you.
going on. And I definitely I got to tell you about one more project that's huge right now.
Yes.
So I'm in a new movie called Secret Society, and it's with Erica Pinkett, Raina Love, Vivica Fox, Jeremy Meeks. And this movie is written by a brilliant writer named Yasha Coleman, and it's directed by Jamal Hill. And the producer on it is Rich Coleman. And this film, it allowed me to step out of my comfort zone. It's a very deep film. It came out April 2nd on Amazon Prime. We charted at number 87, and today, it hasn't even been out a week, we're at number 15. We're at number 15 now. We charted at 87, and now we're number 15 for the most rented film drama charts on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
So this movie is huge, and I'm on the soundtrack. One of a Kind, my
period.
single.
Yes.
Yeah, one of a Kind, my single was in the movie, and it's actually on the soundtrack that dropped April 16th. But the movie is a game changer. I've never read a script like it. I've never started anything like it. When you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about, and you'll understand why I went from number 87 to number 15 on the rental chart. And it's in over 24 hours.
Yes, we have to tune in, definitely. It's on, you said it's on Amazon Prime, Secret Society, correct?
Yeah, it's called Secret Society, and the two stars is Erica Pinkett and Raina Love. And then, I'm a supporting actor in it, Vivica Fox, Jeremy Meeks. This thing is huge. And I had a lot of fun shooting it, and it's out now. They've been doing premieres all over the country, and we're getting ready to really take this thing to number one. And I'm excited because not only did I act in it, but I was able to get my song featured. And now, when they came about with doing the soundtrack, since I do music, they're like, yo, we got to use One Kind on the soundtrack. And I'm just, just to be an artist. You know, I'm like, you know what, I'm just happy that I'm able to contribute more than just, you know, lending my talent as an actor. I can also introduce music as well.
Yes, and definitely we're excited to tune in. I know definitely I'm going to be tuning in. I'm actually probably going to watch it tonight. And again, everybody, make sure that you tune in to Secret Society. It's on Amazon Prime. And most definitely make sure that you tune in for Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV on Sunday, April 11th at 9, 8 Central to see the Trey Chaney as Kendrick. Yes, so thank you so much, Kendrick, for tuning in with us. And I just look forward to seeing the rest of the season.
Most definitely.